Hello guys, how are you all? Welcome back to my channel. So, today we are gonna see, what if Kid Naruto was almost killed but he was saved by Demon Fox? And, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And also check the description. So let's begin the story. It was a cold night, and in the middle town there was a small group of villagers chasing a small boy. Kill him! Kill the damn demon! One of them yelled. What did I ever do to you? Please leave me alone, the small scared boy cried. Then one of the villagers picked up a rather large rock and threw it at the boy, hitting him on the head. The little boy fell to the ground as large amounts of blood gushed out from the wound. Please leave me alone, I beg you, he cried. How like a demon, like you deserve mercy, another villager said as he kicked him in the ribs, maybe breaking 2 or more. Now you die. A Chunin came to the front of the group with his blade in hand. He lifted it above his head and brought it down, ready to end the little boy's short life. The little boy closed his eyes, waiting for sting of the blade. He didn't have to wait long as it came and hit him in the shoulder, ran down his chest and hit his heart. The boy gasped for air before passing out, but not giving them the satisfaction of screaming, much to the dismay of everyone present. I did nothing to them, but they say I'm a monster, the little boy thought. Why do they say I'm a demon? Because of me, a loud voice growled. I'm the reason they hate you, it continued. Who are you? the boy asked. I am what you humans call the nine-tailed demon fox, and will leave at that, it answered. But we have a problem here. You see, we are going to die, and I can't have that, he stated. So what do we do? The boy said, not really understanding what the fox said. Well, we have to merge. I will give you all my power and chakra, the fox said. And what will happen to you? the boy said, concerned about the fox, which the fox picked up right away. That made him have even more respect towards the boy. Well, I won't die, but more than that, I will merge with your mind and guide you in any way that I can. The fox paused before continuing, and also everything you feel I will too. Sounds good, but you said you will give me all your power and chakra. So what does that mean exactly, he asked. Well, aren't you a smart one? the fox laughed. Well, kid, you will become stronger. Your senses will become heightened. You will have higher stamina, and I mean higher stamina. Also, you will automatically have signed the fox contract, which will let you summon my mighty fox army. The fox paused. Well, they will be your army to command, I guess. Oh, and before I forget, you chakra reserves will be almost bottomless. Sounds good. And how long will it take for these perks to kick in? the boy asked. My boy, these will kick in as you put it immediately after we join, and since you're still young you will get stronger and faster. So what do you say? the fox asked. Okay, let's do it. What do I have to do? the boy asked. Then a kunai slammed next his feet. Take that knife and cut you palm with it, and slam it into the seal in front of you. Oh, and by the way, what is your name, kid? he asked. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, Naruto yelled as he sliced his palms and blood started pour from the wound and slammed it into the seal. And from now on I will take no shit from no one. The seal began to fall apart. As soon as it was gone, the gate opened and huge amounts of red chakra came flooding out and engulfed the small boy. The boy's natural blue chakra came out his body and began to mix with the red one. After a while the two were completely mixed and began to pour into the boy's body. He began to yell in pain. The voice said, hold on kid, it's almost done, just hold on. The boy stopped yelling, but it was clear that the pain was too much for him. Seconds passed, and the pain started to subside. The boy started to laugh as he felt power course through his body. This feels amazing. He paused now to try my new body out. In the outside world the villager were still kicking and spitting on the dying boy. Man, this getting boring. Let us go home, one of the villagers said. They all agreed and started to go home, when out of nowhere there were 10 foxes blocking the exit of the alley. They were different colors. 2 of them were red with 4 tails, 3 were a blend of red and black. They sported 6 tails. The 4 in front of the 4-tailed one were gray and had 2 tails. And lastly there was a beautiful white fox with 7 tails and seemed to command the other foxes. The villagers didn't know what was going on, and all of a sudden they heard laughter. Oh come on, that can't be all, Naruto said with a smile on his face. His injury was almost healed, and here I thought I have someone to play with. The villagers tried to run, but the foxes growled and tried to bite them. Stop, Naruto ordered. They are all mine. Of course, Naruto-sama, one the foxes said before bowing. Just make sure they don't leave the party early, Naruto ordered again. Hi, Naruto-sama, all the foxes yelled. Well, now that is out of the way, let's get the party started, he teased. Why, you little brat, the Chunin who struck him with his sword yelled before charging at him. He raised his sword again, and swung at blinding speeds, almost hitting Naruto. He only managed to scratch his face. Naruto-sama, your sword, the white fox said as she threw a sword at Naruto, which he caught with one hand. It was a beautiful sword. The sheath was pitch black, in the middle of it there was a red dragon head, and its body wrapped around the sheath until it reached the top. The handle was very comfortable, almost as if it was made just for him. He pulled the blade out its sheath. The blade itself was magnificent. It had the same red dragon carved into the blade. The blade itself had a slight black tint to it. Wow, this is a great sword, Naruto thought. Man, I forgot all about this sword. and it looks like it chose its next master. What you mean chose its next master? Aren't you still its master? Naruto asked. In a way yes, but no, you see, when I was trapped inside of you my body ceased to be with that. The sword lost its master, and went dormant, but when you touch it with your hand it came back to life, the fox explained. Oh, I see, so now I'm the sword's new master and wilder. Well, let's see what it can do, Naruto said with a smile on his face. Out of instinct he began to pour chakra into the sword. The dragon began to glow red and radiate heat. The Chunin charged again, only to be meet with Naruto's sword. After a minute of swinging and blocking, the Chunin was getting tired. Is that all you got, man? I thought you would be more of a challenge, Naruto teased. That pissed the Chunin and went for the attack again. This time it was Naruto's turn to attack. He lifted his sword over his head and swung it down at the Chunin. All he could was put his sword up and try to block his attack, which he did but got knocked back hard, hitting a wall. As the Chunin hit the wall he could hear cracking noises. He looked around and saw that he broke his arms and legs from the attack. Naruto slowly walked up to the Chunin and he kneeled next to him and whispered, I can't say it was fun, because it would be a lie. With that he lifted his sword and said, Ninpo, 1,000 blades. All of a sudden the blade began to fall apart, and the tiny shards of blades began to rotate around the Chunin. Then Naruto said, now a strong wind came and the blades began to pick up speed. A small tornado began to form as wind and his blades circled around the Chunin. All of a sudden the tornado got smaller and smaller. There was no scream as the tornado stopped and the blade returned to its master and reformed back to the original blade. Naruto resheathed his sword and turned around. The villagers look at the Chunin as he was just sitting there, but a wind pick up and the villagers look in horror as the Chunin's body began to disappear into sand of flesh and blood. Soon he was gone, no trace or nothing but his sword. Naruto turned to the frightened villagers and said, well, now what do I do with all of you? He paused for a minute. Oh, I know, since you like to throw rock, why don't you all become them? He made some hand signs and slammed it to the ground without yelling the name of the jutsu. The ground around them began to rise and engulf them. When the rocks and dirt covered them completely it fell to the ground, only leaving the villagers standing as statues made of rock. They were in the same position that they were when they were flesh, and their face had looks of horror. Naruto began to walk towards the waiting foxes. Naruto-sama, we are glad to see you are unharmed, the white fox said as the other foxes bowed in respect for their new master. It was nothing, Naruto smiled and put his free hand behind his head. But how did you know I was going to be here? He asked. Well, as soon as you merged with our lord we knew that something was up, so we came to see, the white fox stated. Oh, I see, and what would your name be? Naruto asked. I don't have one, Naruto-sama, she replied. Well, then I am going to give you one, Naruto said and thought for a minute before he said, I know your name will be Michiko. I'm honored by that name, Naruto-sama, Michiko said. Okay, Michiko-chan, I'm getting tired and I want to sleep, so you all can go, Naruto ordered. Hi, the foxes said and poofed away. Naruto walked slowly home with his new sword in hand. Back in the Hokage's office an old man looked into his crystal ball. He was smiling, clearly happy that the boy had defended himself. Minato, you would be proud that you would. Then he turned the ball off and went back to work. Naruto was walking home remembering the fight, and what would happen in the morning when they found the bodies. He decided to let it go, and deal with it if it came up. It was about 2 in the morning when Naruto got to his apartment. He opened the door and stepped inside. He walked towards his bed, sat down, placed his new sword next to his bed and was soon fast asleep. In his mind he was walking down some halls that were dark and moldy. Man, what is with this place? Naruto asked. This is what I call home, a man said as he came around one of the corners. Do you like it? He asked. No, not really. But this your place, but more importantly, what am I doing here? Naruto said. Oh, that hurt. Here I am trying to make friends with you and you insult my little piece home, teased Kyubi, but you're right, we need to talk. I want to ask you to not go around killing people. At least not yet. Why not? I mean, they would have killed me without think about it. Why can't I do the same? He yelled. Calm down, kid, I'm not saying let them run all over you, just don't kill them, got it? Fine, Naruto said. Well, it was good talking to you, but it seems it's about time to wake up, Kyubi stated. Hey, you stupid fox, try and lighten this place up, will you? Naruto said while everything started to go black. Naruto could hear the fox cursing the boy out. Naruto woke up and went into the bathroom to take his shower. Then he remembered that today was his birthday. Well, happy birthday to me. He looked into the mirror and started to talk to himself. Oh, how old are you today? This reflection said. Oh, I'm 9, thank you for asking, the original stated. No problem, happy birthday, the reflection said. After his conversation with his reflection, he went to the kitchen where he started to boil some water. He looked into his cabinet and pulled out 2 cups of instant ramen. After breakfast he went into the living room and sat on his couch thinking on what to do for the rest of the day. Suddenly there was a knock on the door. He opened it, and there were 3 ANBU ninjas waiting for him. "Naruto-san, you are to report in front of the council and follow us," one of the ninjas said. Naruto walked through the town as the villager couldn't contain the glee that the council was finally going to get rid of the demon for good. They made it to the Hokage's tower, then they walked up to the top floor. The huge doors slowly opened and Naruto walked in. "Have a seat, Naruto," one of the council members said. Naruto saw a large wooden chair in the middle of the room. After a minute the council member, which consisted of all the clan heads of the village, said, "Naruto, you were brought here on the charges of killing 10 villagers and a Chunin ninja. What do you plead?" Naruto thought for a minute before he got up and said confidently, "I plead guilty on the ground of self-defense." The council was shocked of what the boy said. "How can you prove that it was self-defense?" the member said. "I can't," Naruto replied. "Well, seeing there is no proof, we sentence you to death by hang," was all the elder could say before being interrupted by a "Wait, I got proof." They all turned around to see the third standing there with his ball. "I got all the proof you need right here," the third said. "Fine, let's see it," the elder said. The third went to the center of the room, placed his ball on the table. He made hand signs. All of a sudden the ball began to glow, and replay the scene that took place last night. "I see now that we have seen the evidence, we can plainly see that it was indeed self-defense. You are dismissed," the elder said. Naruto began to leave the room when the third stopped him. "Hey Naruto, will you come with me? I need to talk with you." "Sure, Hokage-sama," Naruto replied and went with the old man. They were both in the office. The Hokage pointed to a chair. "Naruto, I have something very important to ask you," the Hokage said very seriously. "What do you want to be when you get older?" Naruto looked into the ceiling and thought for a minute before answering, "I want to be the greatest ninja and surpass even the fourth." "So you want to be a ninja then?" the third said. "Well, I got a deal for you. Why don't you join the ANBU squad?" But that's only for the elite," Naruto said. I know you will do fine, and beside they want enroll for the next 6 months and I will train you personally until that time." "What you say?" the third said. "Okay Hokage-sensei, when do we start?" Naruto asked. "Right now, let's get going," the Hokage said and went off to train. 6 months later Naruto was going to the ANBU headquarters to take the enrollment tests. The first consisted of passing several ANBU squad undetected and retrieve a scroll in under 5 minutes. Naruto did it in under 2 minutes, breaking the record of 3 set by Minato himself. The next test was a matter of skill. He to fight an ANBU ninja. He was barely won but passed the test. The final test was to see how much torture he could handle before he cracked, which he passed with flying colors. He was named best in class and top rookie of the year. 2 months later Naruto was with his new team, which were Kakashi and Anko. They were on a retrieval mission looking for a missing ninja. "We're getting close to the target," Kakashi said quietly under his mask. "Got to be on our guard, he just murdered his whole clan and is very dangerous." "Naruto, are you ready for this?" Anko said, very worried about the boy as she thought of him as a brother. "Yeah, don't worry about me," Naruto said coldly. "Stop," Kakashi ordered. "Target is up ahead." They slowly got closer to their target. As they got closer they could see him, Itachi Uchiha. "What do we do now?" Naruto said. "We attack on 3, got it," Kakashi said. 1, 2, 3, go now." All 3 ANBU ninja came out to attack. It surprised Itachi as he didn't have time to block. He was met with a punch from Kakashi that sent him flying towards Anko, who kicked him high into the air. Naruto was ready with the axe kick to the back of the head, which sent him flying fast into the ground. He hit the ground with so much force that he made a crater where he landed. Itachi was knocked out. "Naruto, did you bring that special cloth that the Hokage gave you?" Kakashi said. "Yeah, right here," Naruto answered, handing it over to Kakashi. Kakashi wrapped the cloth over Itachi's eyes as they knew what the Sharingan can do. "Okay, time to go back," Kakashi ordered. Mission accomplished. As they made their way back to the village they were talking with each other on what they were going to do. Anko punched Kakashi for a remark that Naruto really didn't get. "Yo Naruto-kun, what you going to do today after we get back?" Anko asked. Naruto looked into the blue sky with his hands behind his head. "Don't know, maybe nothing, just go home and sleep for the rest of the day." "What, it's only noon?" Anko yelled. "That won't do. I got it, I will take to see a movie, then we can get some ramen, my treat." Naruto looked down at the ground and said, "Sure, why not?" but he was glad that he had a mask on, if not they would see the face he was making. After making it to the front gate the 2 guards stopped them. "Halt, state your names and ranks." "Number 89, Elite," was what Kakashi said. Then Anko stated number 78, Elite, and finally Naruto stated number 12, Elite. "Okay, y'all can go ahead," the guard said. "Did you hear what that kid said?" "I know, but I can't believe that we got to meet the famous Fox team," the second guard said. Then the both guards began to giggle like little schoolgirls. "Idiots," all 3 elite ninjas said in unison. At the Hokage Tower the team were giving their report. Good to hear that everything went well," the Hokage said while smoking his pipe. "But please remove your mask." Kakashi was first to remove his mask. His face was half covered by another mask which also covered left eye. Anko then removed her mask, which showed a beautiful face as she smiled widely. Then finally Naruto. He sported his famous smile. He had deep blue eyes that were full of life and 3 whisker-like lines across both sides of his cheeks, which Anko thought were very cute. So I can say that this mission was a success, which brings your average to 100% on successful mission. The Hokage stated. Now let's see here, that would make it 24 S rank, 48 A rank, 139 B rank missions. Impressive, but can I expect from my best team? He paused. You have the rest of the week off. Consider this a vacation. Dismissed. Hi Hokage-sama, the team said before disappearing. Outside the tower the team were walking out. So what are going to do Kakashi with your week off? Naruto asked. Don't know, but I'll find something to do. What about you? Well, I have nothing planned, but I was thinking I'm going to the wave country, as I hear the beach are great this time of year. Naruto stated. Wow, sounds like fun. I might have to join you, Naruto-kun, Anko said. That would be nice, Naruto said. How about we leave later today, say about 6? Sure, meet you at the entrance, Anko said. Kakashi looked over at Anko and began to think about her in a bikini, then said, mind if I join both of you? Sure, the more the better, Naruto said. A year later passed and Naruto was in his new apartment. It was much bigger and cleaner. The rooms were accurately separated by walls. His living room was twice the size as his old apartment. It had brand new couches and a big screen TV. He also had a great view of the village. To the left he could see the lush forest and lake in the middle, and to his right the Hokage monument and village. He went into his kitchen and made himself some breakfast, which included eggs, bacon, toast, and a cup of coffee. After he ate breakfast he got ready for another day at the office. As he made his way towards the ANBU headquarters he saw some children running towards the academy. Naruto can only laugh on the inside. He went inside and noticed how quiet the place was. He began to get worried. He got into his defensive mode as he went for his sword. He slowly began to walk toward the main hall. He slowly began to open the doors. He walked in very slowly and WNET to turn on the light. Then he heard a loud happy birthday Naruto as all the ANBU and clan heads cheered. Naruto couldn't believe what was happening. He never got to celebrate his birthday, and now he got a party. Naruto couldn't be any happier. As the party continued he received many presents. From the clans he got medicines that were very expensive, a short sword for his long sword, special scrolls that could hold almost infinite items, and other random gifts. Anko came over and presented her gift. Naruto looked at the box and saw how perfectly wrapped it was, which meant how much time it took her to wrap it. He carefully unwrapped the box and saw a black jacket. It had the swirl mark on the shoulders and the same mark but with a fox in the middle. It felt light but durable. He put it on and loved the way it felt. He turned towards Anko and said with a tear in his eye, Anko-chan, I love it, thank you, and went in for a hug. That action caught everyone there off guard, as Naruto was always so cold and only worried about training or mission, but for some reason Anko always brought out his childlike behaviors. Alright, time for the toast. Someone give Naruto a drink, the Hokage said. Hey old man, I'm only 12, I'm too young to drink, Naruto yelled. Nonsense, old enough to kill, old enough to drink, the Hokage said. Come on, just one, Naruto-kun, Anko said as she handed him a glass. Naruto grabbed the glass. Good, now for the toast, the Hokage yelled to Naruto, one of the best ANBU ninja here. His dedication to his work and his teammate has earned the respect of everyone here. So with that, happy birthday Naruto, and have many more. Here, all the ninja yelled and downed their glass. Naruto also drank his drink and loved the taste. As the night went on, Naruto drank more and more. It was the best time of his life. A week later the Fox team were in the Hokage's office waiting for their next mission. Okay, for your next mission, it will be an A-rank mission, not on difficulty but on length, the Hokage said. Okay, what is? Kakashi said. You remember when Itachi killed his entire clan? That wasn't completely true. He paused. It appears that his younger brother survived the attack. So what's that got to do with us? Naruto said. I'm coming to that, the Hokage stated. Your mission is as follows. Naruto, you will be placed in the academy as a new recruit to keep an eye on Sasuke. Do not let him find out that you are watching him. Got that? Hi, Naruto said, but I got a question. Why are we doing this? Well, Itachi broke out of prison 2 days ago, and we still haven't found him. I don't know what his motives are, but we can't let the last loyal Uchiha die going after the traitor, or have someone come and get him for his eyes. Got it? Got it, Naruto stated. Now for phase 2 of the mission. Kakashi, you will be placed as their sensei to back up Naruto when his other team begin going on missions, the third said. Hi, Kakashi said. Anko, you will be placed on another team for the time being but are to keep track on Naruto and Kakashi. Report secret orders and development between me and them. Hi, Anko stated. This mission is top secret, and only the top ANBU commanders know of this. If need be, the secret phase is give a man a fish he eat for a day. when said you are to reply, but teach a man to fish he eats for life. The mission begins tomorrow. Dismiss, the Hokage ordered. Oh, before I forget, leave your mask with me. And Naruto, don't wear your ANBU clothing or jonin for that matter. Hi, they said, leaving their mask with the Hokage. Man, I don't have anything to wear tomorrow, sighed Naruto. What do you mean, Naruto-kun, quizzed Anko. Well, all I got is my ANBU gear and my jonin outfit, nothing more, Naruto answered. Well, then we have to fix that, won't we, Anko said as he dragged Naruto toward the shopping district of town where they spent the rest of the day shopping for clothes. After a while they chose the perfect look for him. He had black ninja pants that were loose-fitting but not too much, a white shirt, and his black jacket that he got for his birthday, simple but it worked. After that they went to go get some ramen where they met Kakashi. Yo, Naruto looking good, Kakashi remarked. Thanks, Anko-chan picked it out of me, Naruto said. After many bowls of ramen they began to talk about the mission. Naruto, when you enter the academy, don't show them up, remember that they are new recruits. Okay, Kakashi warned. Okay, got. How long will the exams be, Naruto asked. About 10 months from now, Anko said. Damn, this is going to be a long mission, haven't even started and I'm bored, Naruto stated. Tell me about it, Kakashi said. The next morning Naruto woke up and walked into his bathroom and took his shower. What's up, kid? It's been a long time since we talked, a familiar voice said. Oh hey Kyubi, it has been a while, hasn't it? Nothing much, it's just this mission that I was placed in, there's something not quite right with it, Naruto stated. Well kid, don't worry about it. We can worry about when the time comes, Kyubi reassured. Well, you're right, I guess, Naruto said. So when are you going to drink more sake? That shit was delicious, the fox quizzed. Forget about it, Fox. We won't be having any until this mission is over, got it, Naruto warned. Fine, but as soon as the mission is over we drink, got it, Kit, Kyubi stated. Fine, Naruto said as he got into his clothes. As he was about to leave he grabbed his sword and strapped it on his back. He made his way towards the academy. All right, class, settle down, an older man with a scar across his face said. Today we are going to practice on chakra control. But before I forget, we have a new student today. Okay, come in. Naruto made his way toward the front of the class as the students started to whisper. Okay, settle down, the man said. Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Irika, I am your sensei. Naruto bowed. Now I want you to introduce yourself to the class, Irika said. Naruto turned toward the class and began to introduce himself. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I'm 12 years old. Irika turned to Naruto and asked him, that's all, why don't you tell us your like and dislike, and hope of the future? Fine, my like are ramen, training, going on never mind, my dislike are traitors, mornings, and people who think that they need to be given everything just because of whose family they come from. As for hope, that's not your concern, Naruto stated. Am I done here? Yeah, let's see, Ino, please stand up. Irika yelled. Hi, Irika-sensei, a blonde girl said as she stood up. See where she is, go and sit next to her, the teacher said. Naruto didn't say nothing as he made his way toward the empty seat next to the girl. Hi, as you already know, I am Ino, the girl said. If you want, I could be your guide until you get the hang of thing, okay? Naruto put on one of his fake smiles and said, that will be great, Ino-chan, which made the girl blush. I got a question, Naruto said. The girl nodded, waiting to hear the question. Who are the best students here, he asked. Ino looked at him for a minute. Well, let's see, there is Kiba and Akamaru, his nin dog. Then that girl down there is Hinata Hyuga. She is the heiress to the Hyuga clan. There is. The girl named Ino went on. Naruto wasn't paying much attention until she came to the one named Sasuke. The one over there is Sasuke-kun. He is the best in the whole class and cute at that. There he was. Naruto's target. He had black hair that kind of reminded him of a duck's but which made him giggle. He was wearing white shorts and a blue jacket with the clan's symbol on it. Okay class, now we are going to practice on transformation justice. First is Sasuke. Come to the front of the class, the instructor said as Sasuke got up and walked up to the front. Now I want you to change into the Hokage. Sasuke made a few hand signs and yelled transform. After the smoke cleared and stood a perfect replica of the Hokage until he changed it back. Good, but you still need to work on holding it for more than a few seconds, Irika stated as Sasuke returned to his chair. Okay, next we got Naruto. Come to the front, Irika yelled. As Naruto got up, Ino quietly said good luck. Naruto turned to her and nodded, gave her a smile. When he got to the front of the class, Irika said transform into the Hokage too. Naruto didn't make hand sign, he just stuck two fingers in front of his head and said transform. As the smoke cleared again stood a perfect replica of the Hokage, but instead of poofing back he maintained it no problem and even walked back to his seat while transformed. Everyone in the class was impressed except for Sasuke, who was very pissed that the new kid had beaten him. Okay, class dismissed. See everyone tomorrow for more practice and a survival exam, the teacher yelled. The student got up and started to walk home for the day except for Naruto, who was still at his desk. Ino saw this and walked over to him. She had her friend and rival Sakura. She had pink hair and green eyes, but what was more noticeable was her forehead. It was huge, Hey Naruto-kun, aren't you going home or trying to get some extra points with the teacher? Ino teased. Kun Naruto thought before answered no, just waiting for everyone to leave. That says, what about both of you? Oh, we are waiting for Sasuke-kun to come out of the teacher's office to see if he wants us to walk home with him, Sakura answered. Is that what you're waiting for? Ino yelled. This is so stupid, I'm going home. Hey Naruto, mind if you walk home with me, she said with a blush on her face. Sure, why not? Naruto answered with a smile on his face. What's wrong with her? Oh well, that means that Sasuke is all mine, Sakura thought as she waited for Sasuke. She saw Sasuke walk out of the teacher's office. Hey Sasuke, you wanna walk home together? No, Sasuke. As he walked out of the room, Naruto was walking into home when they got to talking. Hey Naruto, you were great when you did your transformation jutsus, Ino said with a blush. Thank you, Ino-chan, but it was really nothing, Naruto said with his hands behind his head. Nothing? You got to be kidding, I can barely hold it for 2 seconds and the best in class before you could only hold it for 10 and that is without moving. How do you do it? Ino said. Well, it's all about chakra control and how much chakra you got, Naruto stated. And to improve these there are some exercises that help you control and maintain control of your chakra. As you do these your chakra reserves will become bigger. Oh, can you teach me some of these exercises? Ino asked. Sure, meet me at training ground 10 tomorrow after class, Naruto said, which made Ino jump up and down with joy. They made it to Ino's house. Well, this is my house. Thank you very much, Naruto-kun, Ino said before going inside. Naruto turned around and started to go home when he felt a presence and a gush of wind. Suddenly he raised his hands and caught a needle with a note on it right before it hit his neck. The note read, Naruto, there is trouble, come to headquarters. It's about the mission. Hurry. Naruto quickly made his way towards the ANBU headquarters. When he got there, he made his way into the meat office where he saw his 2 teammates and several ANBU ninja with their mask removed. Ibiki quickly started the meeting. Okay, now that we are all here, let's begin. There have been many reports of violence coming for the T country. They are currently undergoing a civil war, but that's not important. He paused. They have been reports of Orochimaru in the area. We don't know what his motives are, but they can't be good. As for the traitor Uchiha, there have been reports that he had joined a secret organization. They consist of 10 members of S-rank criminal and are considered extremely dangerous. There is a kill on sight order placed on them. The meeting took about an hour to complete, and they were all dismissed. After the meeting, Naruto walked to the ramen shop to get something to eat. As he walked, he could hear many of the villagers saying, there's the demon child, and we have to do something before he kills us all, but Naruto just walked by them. If they only knew who I really am, they wouldn't be so. Why, Naruto thought. After eating, Naruto walked over to his favorite training ground and began his late afternoon training regiment. He made 100 clones and assigned them things to do. He had 25 of them work on chakra control, another 25 to spar with each other, the next 25 to meditate and work on their senses, and the last set to work on his kenjutsu. After 5 hours he began to get tired and dismissed his clone. When he did this, he got a massive headache which went away in a couple of minutes, after which he made his way home. The next couple of months went quickly. They were at their genin exams and the quiz was making clones, and a henge and a spar with one of your classmates. Sasuke was first to take part of the exam. He was to make 3 clones and henge them into the Hokage. Sasuke made the correct hand signs and a poof of smoke appeared. After the smoke cleared, there was 3 replicas of Sasuke. Then he made more hand signs and yelled henge. The clones they transformed into the Hokage. You passed, Sasuke, please wait outside, Irika stated next to Zeno. Ino walked to the front of the class. To say she was nervous was an understatement. As she made it to the front of the class, she looked at Naruto. He just looked at her and mouthed, you'll do fine, don't worry. See this, she calmed down a bit. Her exam was the same as Sasuke, which she passed too. Flashback months before. Ino had just finished her duties at the flower shop when she made her way towards training ground 10. After she got there, she could see Naruto with the older woman sparring. The way they're moving was intense, and could hardly keep up with their movement. She just stood there watching the exchange of blows and the high-level jutsus. But after a while they finished, and not even looked tired. Ino-chan, glad you made it. Are you ready for your training? Naruto asked while he gave her his famous grins, which didn't go unnoticed by his female companion. Yes, Naruto-kun, I'm ready, she replied with a slight blush on her face because of the suffix he had gave her. Naruto turned to his female companion, Anko-chan, I will see you later. Tell him to meet me later so we can discuss the terms. The woman just nodded, not saying anything, and disappeared. Naruto then turned to Ino. Now, Ino, this training isn't going to be easy, so if you want to quit, I suggest to do it now, because if you start, I will not let you quit, you got it? Hi. And with that they trained every day. First he got to train on her chakra control by doing the tree walking exercise. After she finished, she worked on her taijutsu, then with her ninjutsu, followed by some genjutsu. After a couple of months she finally got full mastery of the tree walking exercise. Ino-chan, follow me, and with that they walked deeper into the forest when they came to a river. Now that you mastered the tree walking, I'm going to teach you a higher level chakra control exercise. This is Jonin level exercise, got it? With that said, he started to walk on water. Ino was surprised that he could do a Jonin level exercise and that he was going to teach her such an advanced exercise. After getting the basics on how to do it, she started. At first she couldn't as she fell into the water, but shortly she was starting to master it. First she was slowly able to stand, only sinking to her ankles, but now she could stand on top of the water. As time went on she could finally walk and soon after run. During her training she saw Naruto talking to what seemed to be a fox but decided to let go and concentrate on learning the exercise. Flashback over. Okay, will Naruto come to the front of the class? Iruka said as Naruto walked up to the class. Iruka just gave him a smile. Okay, your exam is to make bushins 3 is the minimum, but if you can make more feel free, then have them henge into anything you want. That's all, Naruto said in a bored tone. Naruto then raised his hand and yelled Shadow Clone Justice, and after the smoke cleared there were 20 clones surrounding the class. Naruto looked around the room and smiled. Using the same hand he yelled henge, and the 20 clones transformed in 20 different beautiful women wearing nothing but a small bikini. Iruka was passed out along with all the male students, and the female students just looked at Naruto with daggers in their eyes. So I pass, or what? Naruto said when Iruka woke up. You pass, he replied with anger in his voice. After an hour everyone passed the first part of the exam. They made their way outside to one of the sparring areas. They were going to spar with other student, but only to see their skills. Even if they were defeated, if they managed to impress Iruka they passed. First up, Sasuke and Kiba. The match was over quickly as Sasuke beat Kiba. The others were of little consequence. It was until Naruto's time to take the exam with Iruka told him since there were an odd number of male students he would have to spar against his assistant, Mizuki. Everyone present looked surprised that Naruto had to face a Chunin, everyone except Ino. As Naruto made his way into the ring, not caring who he was supposed to fight, he just wanted to get it over with. Mizuki got into the ring and got into his stance. Naruto slipped up and got into his stance, the stance that was famous around the world because it only belonged to the Shadow Fox, one the most successful ANBU ninja in the ninja world, the free-form style, but he quickly changed into the academy style hoping he was found out. Iruka and the other didn't pay much attention, but Ino did. Well boy, it seems your luck ran out. Like I would pass someone like you anyway, Mizuki stated as he circled Naruto. The match didn't last long as Mizuki began by throwing a series of punches which were easily countered by Naruto. It was now Naruto's turn to strike back as he quickly vanished, confusing Mizuki only to appear in front of him. He jumped back, narrowly avoiding a devastating punch to the face. After getting his bearing he stood up and stared at Naruto. Naruto just disappeared only to appear to the left of him and disappeared again only to appear to the right. This happened until 4 Narutos appeared to be surrounding Mizuki, but there weren't Bushin, they were after images of Naruto as he was circling Mizuki. Finally getting tired of getting messed around with, he went to attack one of the images hoping that it was the real Naruto. He missed only to be hit in the back of the head, knocking him out, and winning the spar, also passing the test. Everyone was shocked on what they saw except for Ino, who knew this was going to happen. I mean, training with him for almost a year you tend to pick up some information on your sparring partner. And Sasuke, who was furious because Naruto had showed him up again. After the test everyone was back in the classroom where Iruka finally handed out the headbands to all the students that had passed. Tomorrow everyone will get their new sensei. Congrats, you are now considered genins. Ino walked up to Naruto and sat right next to him. So does that mean I won't be able to train with you, huh? She looked right at him with sadness in her eyes. Naruto caught this and was saddened. Over the past few months he had started to develop some feeling for her. No, we can still train after your training with your new team. I mean, if you still want, he paused, but you know we can still hang out. Just because we are now ninjas we can't still see each other. Ino was just staring at when his blush crossed her face. Naruto-kun. Yes, Ino-chan, he looked at her, as he always done when she spoke to him. Ino looked at the deep blue eyes that seemed to go on forever. No, nothing, forget about it, smooth girl, why can't you just ask him that? Well, Ino-chan, I guess I'll see you later, I have something to do. Naruto got up and walked out the room. Sakura walked up to Ino. So what's the deal with you and Naruto? I mean, during the last couple of months I haven't seen you going for Sasuke-kun. Or have you gave up on him and went for second best? Sakura teased. Naruto-kun is not second best, he is far stronger than Sasuke, he just doesn't show off like he does, so don't you dare call him second best. He is first in my book, and that's all that matter. Ino yelled at Sakura and stormed out of the room, leaving a surprised Sakura. If only I could just ask him if he likes me the way I like him. Maybe someday I will have the courage. Meanwhile, Naruto had made it to his apartment where Kakashi and Anko were waiting. He walked up to his counter and pulled out 3 cups and a bottle of sake. Now I know that I said that I wasn't going to drink until the mission was over, but I need one, and you're going to join me. And he handed out the cups and poured the sake. Phase 1 of the mission complete, and with that they drank until dark. Kakashi got up and tried to walk to the door but fell over and passed out. Anko made it to the door but also passed out. Naruto, who was just buzzed, got up and moved them to his couch as lightweights, he said before going to his room and passing out himself. The next morning Naruto was the first to get up. He went into his bathroom and washed up before getting ready, after which he made his way to the kitchen but before checking on his friends. Kakashi was still on his couch, but the only difference now was Anko somehow during the night moved over to Kakashi and was sleeping on Kakashi. Oh, this is going to be so funny. Naruto walked into his kitchen and stared to make breakfast for all of them. Naruto was standing in the doorway of the kitchen waiting for them to wake up, but it was taking too long. "Good morning everyone, time to get up," he yelled. Kakashi was the first to open his eyes only to see Anko's sleeping form on him. Oh man, this is not going to end well. Kakashi was trying to find a way to get out of there without waking her up but failed as she opened her eyes and found out where she was heard throughout the apartment complex. Later the group was sitting at the table for breakfast. Kakashi was nursing a sore cheek and Naruto was rather large lump on his head. Anko on the other hand was sitting on the far end of the table enjoying her breakfast as if nothing had happened. "Man, I know why she slapped you, but why did she have to hit me? I'm innocent in all this." Naruto rubbed his head to relieve some of the pain. "Well, if you weren't laughing at her and making those remarks about me and her doing it on your couch, maybe she wouldn't have thrown you through your TV," Kakashi stated as he began to eat his breakfast. "Whatever," then he turned his gaze over to Anko. "Which reminds me, you owe me a new TV, and I expect it by next week, got it?" He sent her a gaze that left her no room for argument. Anko just looked at Naruto. She knew better than to argue with him. She remembered the last time she had gotten on his bad side. She was still recovering from the last prank he placed on her. "Yeah, whatever brat, you'll get your TV." After their interesting breakfast they got to business. Naruto had came up with the idea of the ball test and for Kakashi to be 3 hours late. He thought it would be funny. Naruto himself didn't feeling like going to the academy, so he made a clone and sent it in his place. "Now then Anko, how about we have a quick spar before you report to the Hokage?" "Sure Naruto, why not? It's been a while. I miss beating the shit out of you." Naruto just looked at Anko with his fox-like grin. "Ha, if memory serves me right, I beat you 15 times in a row," and with they made their way towards their favorite sparring ground. Ino had woken up in the middle of the night thinking about how she had just become a ninja and all the missions she would do, but for some reason her attention kept returning to a certain blonde. There was something about him, something mysterious, but that's what attracted her to him. "Why can't I tell him how I feel? Man, this is so complicated," she sighed out loud, which was heard by her father. "Inohime, what is complicated?" he asked as he stood by her door. Ino was startled by her father but quickly recomposed herself. "Nothing, Daddy." "Ino, I know something is on your mind. I can tell you've been like this since you came back from the academy yesterday, so spill. Is it about some boy?" Ino looked at her father and knew that she didn't have a choice in the matter, especially when her father was a top interrogator in the ANBU Special Forces. "You could say that. You see, there is this boy who joined our class couple months back. He did a transformation jutsu and maintained it for minutes, so I asked him how he did that. He told me that it was all about chakra control and there were exercises that would help. I asked him to teach me those exercises. He said yes, and we trained every day after that. So what seems to be the problem then?" "I'm getting to that. Like I was saying, I started to like him more and more, but I don't know if he liked me. I want him to be my boyfriend, but I don't want to ruin our friendship if things don't work out." "I see, yeah, that seems to be a problem. So what's he like?" he asked, trying to get some information on the boy who Ino had an eye on. Ino blushed as she began to describe Naruto. "Well, he is handsome, strong, and I mean strong, kind, funny, full of life. And what I love the most is those deep blue eyes that seems like I could lose myself forever." She gave out a sigh as she finished her statement. Ino's father just looked at her. He had pretty much figured out who she was talking about, but still he had to be sure. "So what his name?" "Hime. Naruto Uzumaki." She sighed again. Inoichi just smiled at the name she had given him. "So my daughter has a crush on one of the most deadly ANBU shinobi ever. I couldn't be any happier. She couldn't have picked a better man for her to like. Now how am I going to handle this?" "Daddy, are you okay?" Inoichi just looked at her and replied, "Yeah, I'm okay. I think you should drop hints here and there and see how he responds. Then when you have your information, move on it, and don't worry, everything will work out." There was a pause. "Now you better get going. You don't want to be late for your placement. Oh, by the way, why don't you ask him to join us for dinner tonight? I want to meet the boy who has stolen the heart of my daughter." "Okay, I will, Daddy, but be nice and don't kill him, okay?" And with that she left towards the academy. "Trust me, Ino, if I could I would, but Naruto is someone I would not want to mess with. It was early morning and Ino was slowly making her way to the academy. Her mind was running on overdrive thinking about Naruto, and how she can tell him her feelings for him. As she walked she ran across Sakura who had a rough morning. First she overslept so she could not fix her hair for the day to try and impress Sasuke. Then she nearly crippled herself as she ran down her stairs trying to leave early so she can see him as he entered the school. After which she didn't have breakfast, so her day wasn't a good one. Now she sees her longtime friend/rival making her way towards the academy. In her mind she thought that she was trying to get Sasuke away from her so she began to run. She of course didn't see the pothole in front of her which led her to trip and fall into the mud ruining her dress. Ino of course didn't see any of this as her mind was still thinking about her little problem, and just kept on walking. Naruto was standing on top of the Hokage monument thinking about the mission when a fox came out of the woods that surrounded the area. "What's the report, Toko?" Naruto asked as the small fox bowed before him. "Naruto-sama, it would appear that the target is being targeted by the snake. Also Itachi and his organization are gaining power and influence. We have yet to find what their main goal is, but what we do know is that it involves the 9 great demons." The little fox named Toko reported. "Very well, inform me if anything comes up. Also keep a close eye on Orochimaru. I want to know how many spies he has, and his movements. I have a feeling that he will make his move any day now, and I want to be ready when that happens." Naruto turned towards the village. Before he muttered, "Itachi my friend, what are you planning? Whatever it is you have already failed, and I promise that before everything is said and done I will kill you." Naruto then looked into the sky my brother before he turned around and walked into the forest. Ino had finally made it to the academy only to find out that Naruto had sent a shadow clone. She began to bang her head because she didn't think to do that, and now she had to be stuck in the room with the rest of the graduates, including her once crushed Sasuke. It only took her 3 months to see what the so-called genius Uchiha really was. An overgrown baby who would have a tantrum because he couldn't have a cookie. Why did I ever see him, she thought. Naruto-kun is much better than him in so many ways. Oh well, at least he showed the error of my ways before I got into serious trouble because of my weakness. Ino knew that Naruto had sent in a clone, but she knew the secret of the clones, so she left him a message. "Hey, tell your boss that I need to talk to him at the same place after our teams are assigned," Ino said as she sat next to the clone. "Right, I'll tell the boss, Ino-chan," the clone said. After waiting for 10 minutes, Iruka came into the room with a slip of paper. "Good morning everyone. I have here in my hand your genuine team placement, but first let me tell you that I am proud." And he went on for about an hour, which Ino started to drift further into her thoughts until she was brought out when he began with the placements. A/N same as the canon, so I won't bother with the rest. Iruka had sent the fresh genin to lunch and returned in an hour. Ino had rushed to the training grounds where she and Naruto trained. As soon as she got there she saw Naruto waiting for her. "Hey Ino-chan, what do you need from me?" he asked as she walked up to him. Ino looked at him with a blush. I was wondering if you wanted to come have dinner with my family to celebrate us becoming genins?" she asked with a slight blush. Naruto looked at her and smiled. "Sure Ino-chan, I would love to come to dinner with you and your family." Ino smiled at the response. "Okay, now let's go get some lunch. I'm starving." Naruto smiled at the girl and offered her an arm, which she happily took, and both of them went to get some lunch. Meanwhile at the classroom, the clone was sitting at its desk when Sasuke walked in. Sasuke looked at it and smirked at him. "Well done, managed to pass the exams. I don't know how, but don't get in my way, or I will kill you myself. You hear me?" The clone just looked at Sasuke with indifference. This of course pissed off Sasuke as nobody ignored him. "Damn it, answer me," he yelled as he went to punch the clone, only for the clone to poof out of existence. Naruto walked in with Ino. Now Sasuke team, that wasn't nice. What did my clone ever do to you?" Sasuke couldn't believe what he was hearing. A clone was with them the whole day. Naruto and Ino went to sit down in the back of the room as the others came back from their lunch break. Half an hour later the Jounin sensei began coming in to pick up their students. "Team 10 came with me." A man came in. He had a beard and was smoking a cigarette. Behind him was a woman who had red eyes and was wearing a dress that looked like it was made with bandages. "Team 8 follows me." Soon after, only Team 7 was the only one left. Sakura was with Sasuke trying to get a date from him. Sasuke was glaring at Naruto as Naruto seemed to be sleeping. After 2 hours Sakura was getting pissed and Sasuke was also mad as well. Naruto on the other hand was just acting like he was asleep, but internally was laughing his off at the response that his teammates were having. About another hour Kakashi finally showed up and told them to meet him on the roof in 5 minutes. Once on the roof they introduced themselves. "Same as canon, so I won't type it." After everyone left, Kakashi looked up at Naruto and asked, "So was it worth it?" Naruto just smiled. Hell yeah, but come on, let's get out of here. I got to get ready to meet Ino-chan parents for dinner. Oh, so you are finally going to meet your girlfriend's parents. That's a big step in a relationship, you know. Kakashi said with a sly tone as he made fun of Naruto. Naruto glared at Kakashi. Kakashi, you're walking on thin ice. Speaking of ice, stop it right there or you will regret it, and I promise you it will not be pretty. Naruto warned, which shut him right up. Naruto made his way back to his apartment, and began to get ready to meet Ino's parents. But he had another reason to go. It was getting late and the sun was now giving its final rays of light when Naruto knocked on a door. He waited for about 3 minutes before the door opened, revealing a slightly older version of Ino, which he deduced was her mother. Good evening, Mrs. Yamanaka, I hope I am not too late for dinner, he said as he gave her a slight bow, to which she blushed. Damn, this is the boy. No man, that little Ino has a crush. No wonder he is handsome and just radiates power. If he was a little older or if I was younger and not married, I would. No bad, Yumi, he is way too young and he knows, she thought. No, not at all, dinner's almost ready. Come in, do you want anything to drink while we wait? Naruto stated that he would like some tea. Okay, well, make yourself at home and I will bring your drink shortly. Naruto sat down on the couch and began to look around the living room. He noticed the pictures on the wall over the fireplace. He walked up to one of them and began to look at it. It was a younger Ino, about 5 or 6 years old, sitting in a field of flowers. She had a ring of flowers on her head, and she had a wide smile on her face. That was taken when we went to the land of flowers on a business/vacation trip a couple of years back. She really liked the fields of flowers. One day I plan to buy land and retire there, a voice said, to which made Naruto turn around. It turned out to be Inoichi, Ino's father, with 2 cups in his hand. He offered one to Naruto, which he grabbed and drank from. Well, Inoichi, you have a nice home here. The flower business was good to you then, Naruto stated as he gulped more of his tea. Well, it helps calm the nerves. I mean, everyone has to have something or else they could go nuts. I know what you mean. I was planning to take up fishing, but I need to find someone to teach me. Say, give a man a fish, he eats for a day, Naruto said as he drank more of the tea while looking back at the man. Yeah, but teach a man to fish and he eats for a lifetime. After finishing the code, Naruto gave him a nod, stating that after dinner they needed to talk. They sat in silence until Ino came walking down the stairs. She looked around the living room and found her dad and Naruto sitting on the couch. Hey daddy, and Naruto-kun, how long have you been here? She asked as she sat down next to Naruto. Not long, just having a nice little chat with you, father. After he finished, they heard Ino's mom yelling from the dining room that dinner was ready. As they made their way to the dining room, Inoichi noticed the slight blush on his wife's face. Damn you, Naruto, first my daughter, now my wife. I am surprised you don't have a fan club somewhere, he thought as imaginary anime tears ran down his face. Meanwhile, in a deep secluded part in the ANBU base. Okay, everyone settle down so we can finally begin our meeting. We are here because I have discovered horrible news. Our man Naruto aka Fox has been seen going into the residence of one Ino Yamanaka. This injustice cannot go unpunished, as she is taking away our chances of winning over Naruto-sama. Cries for blood were called from a room of at least 20 female ANBU ninjas. Just then Ibiki walked into the room but quickly left as he saw the banner with "We Love Fox." I did not see anything. There wasn't a room filled with a Naruto-loving fan club, and they were not beating a doll that looked like Inoichi's daughter, he said as he walked away. At the same time, in a secluded part of town, order, order. I have called this meeting because I have received word from a reliable source that Naruto is having dinner with a certain pig girl, a girl said to a group of at least 40 women. Sakura, can be sure you can confirm this, a random girl said, and aren't you with those S from the Uchiha camp? What are you doing here anyways? Yes, this is true, I was with Uchiha, but I have seen the light, and it opened my eyes, she said as she raised her hands to the heavens. Praise Kami, another of our sisters has seen the light, and its name is Naruto Uzumaki. Everyone cheered. But now we have a new enemy, and that enemy is named Ino. We must not let her take our light away, Sakura yelled as she pounded her fist onto the podium. Come, we have to take him away from her. Back with Naruto. A slight shiver went down the back of Naruto's spine. Something tells me that I am in great danger. The dinner was pleasant for Naruto. Thanks for dinner, Mrs. Yamanaki's was very delicious, the best I ever had, he complimented, which gave her a slight blush which Ino caught and sent a glare. Inoichi also saw this and secretly cursed Naruto, and was planning his downfall. Soon after, Ino was helping her mother clear the table and Inoichi moved Naruto into his study and set up a sound barrier. Alright Fox, what do you got for me? Well, I have confirmed that Sasuke is being targeted by Orochimaru. For what purpose I have yet to find out. But I have a theory which I hope is wrong. Naruto said. What is this theory then? He said. Well, if Orochimaru is going after Sasuke, then he finally manages to complete his body transfer jutsu, and he is after the Sharingan. With those eyes he can finally complete his goal to learn all the jutsus in the world. Then after which he will go after Itachi and take his eyes to unlock the final form of the Sharingan, which would make him a living god, which in turn can take over the world. Of course this is just a theory, one of which I hope I am wrong and I am looking too much into it. But that doesn't mean we can let him have those blasted eyes. I will destroy them before I let them have their last Uchiha or not. Naruto said as he took a sip of sake which Inoichi gave him as he gave his theory. Well, also it seems I have found some information about Itachi and the organization he joined. He took another drink of sake. The organization is called Akatsuki. It has 10 members, all S-ranked and extremely dangerous. As of yet we only know of Itachi. Their goal is also unknown, but what I have found out is it has to do with the 9-tailed demon, so that means they will be after me. They have already failed in whatever mission. This I can assure you. Oh, and tell me, how do you know that they already failed? Inoichi asked as he looked at Naruto with a look that told Naruto that he didn't believe him. Because my dear friend, as of 2 days ago the seal has run its course and killed the Kyuubi and gave me all its power. Naruto lied, knowing that the Kyuubi was very much alive and part of him, but he needed this lie to run its course to secure him more favor with the clans. Naruto looked out the window and saw that it was getting late. Well enough, it seems it's getting late, and I still have to do the exam with my so-called team tomorrow. I will have this report in writing and on the Hokage's desk by the end of the week. But for right now, have the other captains step up the security in the village. If Orochimaru is targeting Sasuke, then most likely he has some spies looking after him. I want them found and captured. Inform me as soon as you capture any of them, as I would like a little chat with them. Naruto then got up from his seat and started to walk out of the office, but was stopped by Ino, who was about to knock on the door. Naruto turned to Inoichi and winked at him. Inoichi quickly caught on. Remember, Naruto hurt my little Haim, and I will do those things we talked about, he said. Naruto pretended to pale and answered, Yes sir. I would never hurt her, I promise. And with that he left the Yamanaka residence and started to walk home. On the way he couldn't keep shaking the feeling that he was in danger, but put it aside and quickly walked to his apartment. He arrived to his apartment building and proceeded to climb the stairs to the top floor where his penthouse apartment was. As he neared the door he realized that it was slightly opened. He slowly walked up to the door and pulled a kunai knife out and pushed on the door. He reached over to the light switch and tried to turn on the lights, but soon realized that they were not working. So they cut the power. Well, doesn't matter. Naruto then slowly stepped into his apartment. As soon he was fully inside he sensed a blade flying towards him. He quickly blocked it. Well, if it isn't Shadow Fox, you are very hard to find, you know. As luck would have it, I was walking by the academy just as you were fighting that Chunin. I didn't think much of it until I saw you go into your stance. Those 3 seconds was all I needed to find out who you really are. A shadow formed on the far side of the room. Naruto looked at the shadow as it got closer to him. As it walked in front of the window, the moon gave him enough light to show that it was female, and a missing nin from Mist. What business do you have with me, as I haven't set foot in Mist country in over 3 years? Don't act like you don't know what you did. It was because of you that I lost my husband. It was because of you I was named a traitor in the eyes of my village. It was because of you I lost everything. But know that I have finally found you. I am going to kill you and reclaim my honor, and the honor of the Yosho clan, the missing nin said. The Yosho clan, now I remember. But correct me if I am wrong, didn't the Yosho clan massacre the In clan because the daughter of the clan head refused to bed the son of your clan's head, not before he harassed and killed her? Also, the In family was a family friend to my family, so what I did was aid their family for the transgression, Naruto said as he pulled his short sword out, formed the sheath hidden at the base of his back. Your clan was clearly in the wrong, and you blame me. Now you say you're going to kill me. That's laughable, but if you think you can come and try before I send you to meet your filthy family you call your clan. The woman then charged at Naruto with a katana raised over her head. She ran closer and started to drop the blade, ready to take the head of the man she was trailing for over 3 years. The man that caused her nothing but pain. When everything came to the attention to the daimyo, he had the Yosho clan publicly executed for the genocide of the In clan, mostly because of the pressure of the Uzumaki family, Naruto was putting on him. Also had all the funds of the clan transferred to the remaining families of the ancient alliance. She managed to escape thanks to her husband, but he was caught and was killed. The woman was 6 months pregnant at the time, but being branded a traitor in the eyes of Miss, doctors refused to help her with the pregnancy, which caused her to lose the child due to complications. This of course only made her rage towards Fox even greater, and promised to one day find and kill him, for all the pain he caused her. When the blade seemed to connect with base of Naruto's neck, the sound of metal hitting metal was heard. Naruto then pushed the blade back and made the woman stumble, but not letting her recover he went and stuck the blade of his short sword into the neck of the woman. Naruto being trained to be quick and not drag out a battle when an opening is found. The woman made a fatal mistake and left her neck open, so he took it. The woman fell to the ground drowning in her own blood, but started to laugh, which made Naruto a little uneasy. I knew I wouldn't be able to kill you, but no matter, coughs up some blood, I just needed to distract you enough for the timer to go off. She said, see you in hell you bastard, and the life was drained out of her. Naruto quickly noticed that his whole apartment was rigged to explode as he noticed the paper bombs started to fizzle, meaning he had 10 seconds before they went off. Naruto ran to the door and noticed that a barrier was up preventing him from escaping. He had to think of something or he was going to die, so he looked around and noticed his window. It was a suicidal move, but he knew if he didn't do anything he was going to die anyway, so he started to run just as one of the bombs went off. The explosion set off a chain reaction as the rest of the bombs went off. Just as the blast was going to reach him, he jumped out of his apartment window and fell 10 stories. But as he did, a piece of debris hit him on the side and dug into his flesh. Naruto then started to fall, bleeding profusely on his side. Just as he was about to hit the ground, he flipped over and landed on his feet, having only a small amount of chakra left as the rest was used to prevent him from bleeding to death. The result was him breaking one of his legs as he landed. Moments before the explosion, Sakura was walking down the street hoping to catch a glimpse of her new crush. Over the last couple of months she was torn between the two. She soon realized that her new crush was way better than Sasuke. He was more sociable and fun to be around than the brooder. Granted, Sasuke had the bad boy look working for him, and that seemed to attract a lot of attention, but her new crush has an aura of power and security, which drawn her to him. Her new crush was also always in the company of her rival Ino, which enticed her even more as she loved the challenge. His name was one Naruto Uzumaki. Just as she was making plans to seduce Naruto away from Ino, which would be a whole lot easier being on the same team and everything, she was brought out of her musings as an explosion was seen on one of the more upscale apartment buildings in Konoha. She ran over to see what was going on. Just as she reached the area, she saw a man land on the ground. A sicking crack was heard, which she deduced that the man broke a leg because of the fall. She winced when she heard it, but quickly recovered as she saw the man fall unconscious. She ran over to help the man when she realized that it was none other than Naruto. She began to check on him when she noticed a tattoo on his arm. She gasped as she recognized the symbol. It was the insignia of the ANBU Black Ops. Under it was a number. It was a 12. Not knowing what it meant, she filed it aside for later research. She began to do a diagnostic scan on him, which she learned from her aunt as she was a mednin. She confirmed her suspicion as one of his legs was indeed broken and had a piece of shrapnel embedded in his side. Having basic medical knowledge, she pulled the metal shard from his side. As she did, the blood began to pour out of the wound. She quickly ripped a piece of her dress and applied pressure to the wound, stopping the blood flow. She noticed that Naruto's breathing was become very shallow and irregular. He didn't have long. He needed medical assistance, and quick. Luckily for her, a team of ANBU showed up to investigate the explosion. After they noticed that Naruto was unconscious on the ground and bleeding to death, they quickly grabbed him and took him to the hospital. Sakura had tears in her eyes as she saw her new crush being carried to the hospital. She was about to go to the hospital when she noticed a mask on the floor. She walked up to it and picked it up. It was an official ANBU mask. It had the markings of a fox. What is the ANBU mask doing here, and why does Naruto have the ANBU tattoo on his arm? Something is up. Something big, and I am going to find out, but first I need to know if Naruto-kun is going to be okay. And with that she left, holding the fox mask tightly in her hands. In the shadows, a pair of eyes was looking at the whole scene but quickly vanished. It had many days after the explosion that almost killed Naruto. Many of the villagers were surprisingly unhappy when they found out, mostly female. Though some of them were happy as they still saw him as a demon. Many flowers and get-well cards were placed in his room. After an investigation, the ANBU found the remains of the assailant. From what they could tell, it was of a female, and once belonged to Mist. Ino found out of the attack and could be seen next to Naruto every day after her training with her team, much to the displeasure of Sakura. The rest of the ANBU Corp was on high alert as one of their captains was in the hospital because they had been lacking in the security department. Kakashi had postponed his exam, much to the displeasure of Sasuke and relief to Sakura, which puzzled Kakashi as he knew that Sakura did not like Naruto. The injuries that Naruto sustained were not life-threatening, His left leg was broken as was his right arm but was well on its way to repairing itself at a quick pace. 4 of his ribs were also broken, and had a punctured lung. Some internal bleeding but all in all was okay, which surprised the doctors. Many of the nurses would fight each other for a chance to cater to Naruto, in feeding and bathing him, which they loved to do. Naruto himself was bored and on several occasions tried to leave through the window. ANBU, knowing his hatred towards hospital, knew he was a flight risk, always had at least 3 volunteers, always female, to scope the hospital and secretly keep an eye out for a certain mind walker. They were kept busy as Naruto would try to escape at least 14 times throughout the day, in which they would escort him back to his room. Naruto complaining every step of the way and sometime tried to pull rank, but they would not listen, because he was a genin, much to the displeasure of Naruto. Finally, after 1 month of being trapped in his room against his will, as they had installed steel bars on his window with seals that prevented them from opening to keep him inside, he was let go only if he promised to take it easy and light training only, which he agreed vigorously as he wanted to leave that hellhole. Well, it wasn't much of a hellhole, as the nurses kept him company, much to the displeasure of the rest of the patients, as they saw the extra attention Naruto received and was jealous of him. As he walked through town, he was met with bows and thank yous, which confused him, so he decided to ask why they were thanking him. He found out that somehow they found out that the QB was dead and that he was the one to kill it, so he went from being the QB brat to its killer, and a hero. Naruto was happy that they finally saw him as a hero instead of a demon, even if some still refused to believe the story, and still saw him as a demon. The only problem was now he had somewhat of a following among the female population. As he walked towards his apartment, he remembered that it was lost in the explosion, and now had no place to stay, where many of the single females happily offered their place for him to stay, which he respectfully declined. As he walked looking for a place to stay, Kakashi found Kakashi standing in one of the street corners, almost as if he was waiting for him. He told him to follow him and lead him to one of the apartment complexes. Naruto, the Hokage, had set you up with one of the apartments in my complex. It has already been furnished and stock. I know it is not what you are used to, but it is a nice place. You will be on the top floor next to my apartment. Now I must say that guy is also on this floor, so I took the liberty and placed silencing seals all over the apartment. Trust me, you'll thank me. Now Anko will be your neighbor also, but it won't be that bad, Kakashi said as he walked up the stairs that lead to the top floor. Now this complex has a spring in the back. It is separated, one side for the males and the other for females. Other than that, it's open all the time. I guess it would do for a while at least. Tell me, Kakashi, any news on the snake and Itachi? Naruto said as they reached the top floor. Come on, Naruto, you just got out of the hospital, and you're already thinking about work, Kakashi said, but sighed at the end. Apparently Orochimaru has been seen in and around our borders, about the time of the genin selection. I think he is waiting for Sasuke to leave the safety of the village to make his move. Now we have found 4 spies in our ranks which have been dealt with. As for Itachi, there has been no new development on his movements. It is as if he fell off the planet, or something. Also, how did the villagers find out about my certain condition? Naruto asked, to which Kakashi flinched. Well, after the attack, the third held a council meeting. Apparently some of the civilian council members sent word to some assassins to have you killed, and the person who answered the call was the same one who tried to kill you. She was on her way to the council to get the information, in which she saw you go into your stance, I assume. Anyways, the third was furious about this and had ordered the execution of the council members, after one of them said that you were a demon and had to be taken care of. Inochi stated that this was no longer the case. He reported that the seal had ran its course and had killed the fox. At this, many of the council were speechless, so the Hokage decided to drop the bomb. He told them about your parents and what that meant. All the clans had stated that you were now under their protection. With the backing of every clan of Konoha, the villagers had no choice but to respect you, which was not hard to do, as the simple knowledge that you had killed the fox, something that your father couldn't do, was enough for them, Kakashi stated as stopped in front of one of the doors in the top floor. He pulled out a set of keys and opened the door. The apartment was a typical apartment. It had a rather large living room with a dining area next to the kitchen. It also had 3 bedrooms with a restroom at the end of the hall. The master bed had all of Naruto's replacement clothing put away. Anko went out and replaced all of your clothes, though your mask we could not find. Either it was destroyed in the blast or someone took it. We even found your jacket, and it was in good condition, a bit a little smoky smelling, but in good condition, Kakashi said as they walked into the living room where they saw a brand new TV. Anko said that we are now even. Well, that is all. I am to the right and Anko is to the left. Unfortunately, Guy is in the apartment in front of yours. With that, Kakashi left. Not before telling him that they would meet in training ground 7 tomorrow at 7:30. Naruto was looking around the apartment when he decided to take a bath. He was kinda missing the nurses at that time as he liked that part of his stay. Of course it wasn't Ed, he told himself as blood came down his nose. I mean, if the nurses said that they had to be in the tub with him so they can make sure he was very clean, he wasn't going to stop him. He was brought out of his Ed daydream when he heard a knock on the door. He quickly dried off and put on some pants and answered the door. It was Anko who was standing on the other side. Naruto-kun, I am so relieved that you are okay. I just came back from a mission and I heard from the villagers that you were attacked, she said as she released him, much to his displeasure. Now me and you are going to the bar with a friend of mine and we are going to celebrate your release of the hospital. I bet it was hell. Knowing full well how Naruto felt about hospitals, she would never know the special treatment Naruto got from the nurses. And Naruto wouldn't let her know that as she might go on a killing rampage. Okay, Anko-chan, I guess it's been a while that we had a night to hang out. So it's you, me and Kakashi again then? Naruto asked as they would always go out once a week and have a couple of drinks now that Naruto had tasted the joys of sake. No Naruto, just you, me and my special friend, she said with a smirk that immediately sent red flags up in Naruto's mind, but nodded anyways. Great, meet me in the front of the building around 7. As she began to leave, she turned around and spoke, and Naruto welcomed to the neighborhood, and gave him a wink. Naruto looked at the clock and saw that it was about 1 in the afternoon, so he decided to train a little. He got dressed in his training gear, which was a shirt that had seen better days and a pair of shorts. He then left the building and began his light training, after running around Konoha 60 times, and began his Tai Justice katas, which got the attention of many female ninja as he was in one of the training grounds for ninjas only. After 3 hours of hard sparring with 80 shadow clones, he was all sweaty, so he decided to take off his shirt before he began his training again, after which he heard a lot of thumps on the floor. He looked around and found nothing, so with a shrug he resumed his light training again. Sakura was among those girls that found Naruto training. She was in awe as she saw the ninja god training. She studied every movement his chiseled muscles made. Then when she saw him take off his shirt, she saw the abs and pecs. She imagined him wrapping his well-formed arms around her waist, pulling her into his chest. Then she would trace her finger down his six-packed abs before she... That's as far as she got, as was rocketed back by the massive nosebleed she got and hit her head on a tree. She woke up hours later, but Naruto was already gone. Naruto looked up at the setting sun and deduced that it was about 6:30, so he went back to his apartment to get ready for his outing with Anko and her special friend, whoever that might be. After finishing getting ready, which was just him in his casual clothes, he left the apartment building to find Anko in front waiting for him. She had on more conservative clothes but was still on the seductive side. She had a shirt that was obviously too tight for her, as the area around her bust indicated, and a miniskirt that matched the shirt. All in all, she was very sexy but not Thai. Wow was all Naruto could say, which she took as "You look hot." And that is the reaction she wanted for tonight. Come on Naruto-kun, let's go, my friend is going to meet up with us at the bar, she said as she took Naruto's arm. As they walked, they could see the looks of jealousy from both the men and the women. The men were jealous because he was with one of the 3 goddesses of Konoha. The women because the witch they called Anko was with the light of Konoha, as they called him. Secretly they both loved it, but Anko couldn't wait until the villager found out who they were going to spend the rest of the evening with. As they got closer, Naruto could hear music getting louder and louder as they walked. Soon they were in front of a nightclub that mostly catered to shinobi. They could see the line was around the corner as the civilians hoped to get in. Anko just gave out a snort and walked to the front of the line, much to the displeasure of the civilians. But when they saw Naruto, they now really wanted to get in more than ever. Name? The bouncer said as he pointed to Anko. After she gave him her name, he opened the velvet rope and let her pass. Name? He asked again as he looked at the clipboard, not even looking at Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki, he said, not really thinking he would get in, but what he heard next surprised him. Oh, Naruto-sama, your table is ready. Then he motioned to one of the hostess to come over. Please escort Naruto-sama to his VIP table. The owner has lifted any charges, so anything he or his guests want are on the house. Then he turned to Naruto and bowed. Hope you enjoy the club, and if there is anything you need, just let me know and I will make it happen, he said as he opened the rope again to let him in. The hostess took Naruto to a private table on the 2nd floor, blushing the whole way. She was definitely going to cater to Naruto exclusively, and wasn't going to let the other employees get anywhere near him. Anko had finally found her friends sitting in their table waiting for her. Anko-chan, you finally got here. Tell me, where is Naruto-kun? I thought you said he was coming. It was the only reason I came to this place, she said as one of the males began to walk over to the table, hoping to pick one of them up. Now Kurenai-chan, Naruto is here. He probably got lost with all the people around, she said as she looked around looking for the blonde. "Excuse me ladies, do any of you want to dance?" The drunk man said as he looked at them with lust in his eyes. "Get lost or I will feed you to one of my snakes." The man left pissed off, muttering thing like bitch and just wait. After looking for the blonde for a couple of minutes, they came to the conclusion that he wasn't let inside and were about to leave when a hostess came to them. "Excuse me, are you by any chance Anko?" "Yes, who wants to know?" Anko replied, pissed that the night was ruined. "A special guest up in the VIP lounge has been asking about you. He wishes for you and your friend to join him," she said while bowing. "Oh really, and tell me what is the name of this special guest?" She replied, angered that another male was trying to pick them up by using such disrespectful means. "Uzumaki-sama" was all the hostess said. Anko and Kurenai were completely surprised, and somehow Naruto got into the VIP lounge. Both of them nodded as followed by the hostess. After climbing the stairs, they found Naruto sitting in one of the couches speaking with some of the other guests. "I see, Naruto-san, that is a very good idea. Tell me more," a businessman said as a woman was hanging all over him. "Well, as I was telling you, the trade routes to the west are very dangerous, which make the cost to transport them very high. Now what I have for a solution is we buy some docks around some of the neutral lands, like tea, wave and snow, thus making a waterway route. That way we bypass mist and cloud completely, and don't have to pay them high taxes, thus more profit. Also the products get here much faster. We get our supplies from metal, rice, and vegetables, which is next to snow, put them on boats, and ship them to tea. From there it's only a half-day walk to Konoha. The trip would be cut in half," Naruto said as he took a drink from his cup. He placed the cup down, and the hostess that escorted him to the lounge quickly filled it up again. "Yes, I see the benefits a water route would have for our economy. But tell me how we would get these routes open and to keep them safe from pirates," the businessman asked. "Well, it is true that Konoha does not have a navy per se, but if we could recruit some retired navy men to patrol the route while they train more younger men, that could be beneficiary to Konoha's military as well, so it's a win-win. Konoha would get a new navy, and your business a huge boost, with me getting a small portion of course as your partner. So what do you say, Dustin?" Naruto asked as he saw Anko and a very beautiful woman next to her. She was about 20 or something. She had black hair and ruby-colored eyes. Those eyes were the most beautiful he had ever seen. After looking into those eyes, he then scanned down to see an amazing figure. In the back of his mind he thought he had seen her before but could not remember. But he was brought out of his musing when his companion spoke. "Yes, I see the benefits of this. Okay, I agree to it. It would take a couple of months to set everything up. I would need some funds to start to purchase some dock up in snow and waves, also to get some boats. I say 300,000,000 to start with. I will speak with other businesses around town to see if they want to go into business with our partner," Dustin said as he finished and stood up to leave. Naruto did the same and shook his hand. "Very well, I will send the money at the end of the week. Also I have some connections in snow that could help in the purchases of some boats, and dock, although wave might be a bit of a problem as I heard they are having a bit of a crisis, so I will go myself to see what the situation is," Naruto said as he bowed and the man left. Naruto turned around to see a pair of beauties looking at him. Now before his stay at the hospital he was oblivious to the female form, but after, let's just say he was having pure thoughts of his older sister and her friend. The women could tell what Naruto was thinking, and even though they hated it with a passion when it was Naruto, it made them blush. Naruto then looked at Kurenai and took her hand and kissed it, looked up and smiled. "Hello, my name is Uzumaki Naruto, what is yours? Why? Nai." Now normally Kurenai never stuttered, but when she saw into those deep blue eyes and his fox-like smile, something inside of her broke. "Why am I stuttering? No one has ever made me stutter before. Oh, he is mine. One way or another he will be mine." Anko, watching the whole thing, was trying not to get jealous. "Must not kill Kurenai. Wait, why am I jealous? He likes my little brother, right?" she thought, but then something broke. "But he is not my little brother anymore. Somehow he became a man. A man that I have fallen in love with. And Kurenai is flirting with him. I can't have that." She walked right next to Naruto and hugged him. "Naruto-kun, why don't we go to the dance floor?" Without letting Naruto answer, pulled Naruto down the stairs to the dance floor where a fast-paced song was playing. They both began to dance, and as the track went on the music became upbeat. Anko then decided to step it up a notch and began to grin on him. Naruto for his part loved it. Gone was the notion that Anko was a sister, and now she was a woman. A woman who he had deep feelings for, was now grinding her on his crotch. Kurenai, who was watching the whole event, was beginning to get pissed. How dare she grind up against her man like that? "Wait, what? Am I saying he is not my man yet? But if I don't make my move, Anko will surely win him. I can't let that happen. With that, she took a shot of liquor and went into the dance floor. Come on, baby. Why don't we go and have some fun somewhere else? As he spoke, he began to fondle her. But before she could do anything, the man was sent flying. The man quickly got up as his friends came to the man's help. Who did that? The man yelled as he rubbed his bruised cheek. He began to look around and his eyes fell on a blonde-haired man. His eyes were now slitted and had a somewhat red hue to them. His anger could be clearly seen on his face. If the man was drunk before, he wasn't now. How dare you touch one of my friends like that? If it wasn't for the people in here, I would incinerate you with one of my fire jutsu. Naruto began to walk up to the man who was now alone, seeing as his friend knew who that person was and wasn't stupid enough to fight him. But seeing as I am in a good mood, I won't kill you. Which the man sighed in relief, but instead you will be placed under arrest on the charges of attempted harass on a shinobi. Then Naruto lifted his hand, the bouncer came to his side, have this man turned over to the ANBU just outside of the building. Then he came close to the man ear. Tomorrow you will find out why you should not try to force yourself on women. That is something that I can't tolerate. Naruto said as quietly as possible, but the women in the area heard it, and it only added more fuel to the flame. After everything was settled, Naruto looked around to see the people staring at him. What with the faces, I thought this was a club where the music is. He yelled and the music kicked up again. Naruto then walked over to Kurenai, who was still in shock, not because of the man, as it wasn't the first time that had happened. No, it was because Naruto had come to her defense. No one had ever done that. Only Anko. She looked up and saw Naruto walking towards her. Suddenly, for a split second, she saw another figure who was covered head to toe in an ANBU uniform and had on a fox mask. It was this same figure that had plagued her dreams for over a year now. Some nice one where they are walking in the park under the stars, to more erotic ones where she is in her bedroom getting ready to fall asleep, and then he comes into her room and ravages her. Are you okay, Kurenai-chan? He asked as she saw the concern in his. She told him that she was, and the night went on again. Throughout the night they both danced with only Naruto, and as the night progresses, Anko and Kurenai's advances become more direct. When they danced, it was almost like they were having sex with their clothes on. Before the night was over, we find Naruto in between both of the women as they grind on him. All three of them were completely wasted at this point, and did care where they were at as they began to make out with each other. As they walked down the street to Naruto's apartment, they were making a lot of noise. Most of the civilians woke up to see what was making so much noise, only to find Naruto sandwiched between two of the three goddesses. Lucky bastard, they thought, and went back to sleep, seeing as they could not be mad at him. They finally made it into the apartment complex, and began to climb the stairs heading to the top floor. As they did, they bumped into the walls and doors, waking the ninja that were sleeping at the time. When they went to see who it was, they couldn't help but give out a giggle. By noon the next day, everyone would know that Naruto had bagged two of the three. Now this is where a lemon would be placed. Now I have no experience in writing one, so use your imagination in this part. I will say that it was wild. Half the apartment was torn up. So there you go. If anyone wants to write me a lemon, I would place it here. Of course I will give credit where it's due. Next morning, ring ring ring, Naruto woke up to the sound of his phone. His mind was still groggy and couldn't remember half of the stuff he did last night. He tried to get up but found out he was weighted down. The sound of the phone was getting on his nerves. He looked around and saw two bodies on him, both female, and he tried to remember who he was with last night. After a minute his eyes widened as he remembered going out with Anko and her friend Kurenai. As this revelation occurred, he remembered more of the night, which led to his current situation. He gave out a smile at the fun they all had, but that damn phone would not stop ringing, so he quickly replaced himself with a shadow clone. After looking for 20 minutes he finally found his phone that somehow was placed in the refrigerator. How the hell that get in there? Hello? He answered in a gruff tone. Who is it? About time you answered, don't you know what time it is? A voice came the other side, one Naruto knew all too well. Ah, Kakashi, what's up? He asked as he poured himself a glass of water. Naruto, don't you know what time it is? It's noon. Kakashi yelled into the receiver, why haven't you left the apartment yet? Ah well, the thing is, I was kinda tied up at the time, Naruto said as he blushed at the memory of the night before. You know what, I don't want to know, just meet us at the tower in 5 minutes. The Hokage wants me to go find Kurenai and Anko, but I can't seem to find them at the moment. No need, I know where they are at, and I will tell them that the Hokage wants to meet with them, Naruto said as he scratched the back of his head. Oh really, and where are they? Kakashi asked, irritated. They are kinda, in my bed at the moment. What? Kakashi yelled, what are they doing there? Don't worry about it, I will be there shortly. And with that he hung up the phone. He made a shadow clone and told it to make a quick lunch before he went back in the bedroom where he saw 2 angels sleeping on his bed. He almost felt guilty waking them up, but he had no choice but to. He went over to Anko and stared at her angelic face. God, how he had fallen for her. He leaned in and gave a kiss on the cheek before he shook her gently. Anko-heim, it's time to get up, he said as she began to wake. 5 more minutes, she said tiredly. Naruto gave out a chuckle, but Anko-chan, it's noon, and the Hokage wants to speak with you and Kurenai. Anko slowly began to sit up as she stretched, exposing her figure to Naruto. It took all his will for him not to jump on her again. As Anko did this, it stirred Kurenai out of her sleep. She also got up and began to look around as if looking for someone. She soon found who she was looking for. Good morning, Naruto-kun, she said as she also stretched, showing her well-formed figure, causing Naruto to almost lose all his will but didn't. Kurenai, it's noon, also the Hokage wants to talk with both of you, and I have to meet with my team, Naruto said as he finished getting dressed. I have some lunch ready, so hurry up, he said as he left the room. Kurenai and Anko quickly got out of bed and began to look for their clothes. After looking for 3 minutes, Kurenai found out that most of her clothes were all ripped and destroyed, so she decided to use some of Naruto's clothes until she can get to her apartment and change. After asking Naruto if it was okay, she began to look in the closet. She found something interesting. It was the tattered cloak that ANBU used. As she inspected the cloak, she saw the kanji for fox on the inside of the cloak. Her eyes widened as she found out who fox was or could be. She decided that she was going to look into it later. After getting one of Naruto's shirts, she put it on with his skirt on. Seeing as the shirt was a little big on her, she tied the bottom in a knot before she left the bathroom. She walked in the dining room where a plate was left out for her. She sat down next to Naruto, who couldn't keep his eyes off her. She heard him say that hot and must not jump, which caused her to blush. After a quiet lunch, Naruto and the girls all left his apartment and headed towards the tower. Along the way they were met with stares and grins. After reaching the tower, they walked up the stairs where Team 7 and 8 were waiting for them. Team 7 looked like they were going to kill the blonde. As for Team 8, they were shocked at what their sensei was wearing. It was one of Naruto's shirt, as it was the only ones that Naruto wears, and the fact that Naruto was wearing the same design shirt. Deciding not to push the issue, they all walk into the Hokage's office to get their missions for the day, which would be few that day as the day was half over. After walking in, the Hokage had the same look of surprise as he saw the shirt Kurenai and Naruto had on. It's about time you showed, Naruto. Care to explain? He asked as he looked at the flushed face of Anko, Kurenai and Naruto, which surprised him further. Well, you see, I kinda had a late night training session with Anko and Kurenai, which got a little out of hand. After that we were kinda tired and slept in. As for what Kurenai-sensei is wearing, well, like I said, it kinda got a little out of hand and I gave her one of my shirts until she got home, he replied while he had his hand behind his head. The third and Kakashi quickly picked up on what Naruto truly meant, as did Shino, but the others bought it as they knew Naruto's training session often did get out of hand. They never questioned as to why their sensei was with him and late at night. The third coughed, which he was really trying to stem a nosebleed, and cursed Naruto for his luck, and got the attention of all present. Okay, now to business. Since Naruto decided to grace us with his presence at 1, you will only have 2 D-rank missions today. Teammate Park 42 is in need of cleaning up, so it is your job to clean the park up. After which you will walk the Inakuza dogs. Now Team 7, the Fire Lord's cat had escaped again. Capture him and bring him here. Then the hospital needs their inner gardens trimmed up and looking presentable for its patients. At the point, Naruto looked very agitated, which the third picked up. Is everything okay, Naruto? You look like you're about to blow a fuse after I mentioned the hospital? At which point Anko stepped in and told the third how Naruto hated hospitals. After telling Naruto that everything would be fine and that he still had to do the mission, he nodded and left the room. The real reason why Naruto looked nervous was because of the nurses. He was sure that they would be all over him as they were during his stay, and boy was he right. As soon as they caught the cat and returned him to his owner, they made their way towards the hospital. No sooner that he stepped into the lobby, 4 of the nurses came running towards him yelling, Naruto-sama, are you hurt anywhere? And other things, while groping him and pressing their bodies on him, much to displeasure of Sakura and Kakashi, as the nurses were hot and wished it was him in there. After telling them that he was here on a mission, they backed off but gave him looks of lust that thoroughly pissed Sakura off. How was she supposed to work her charm on him if the S wouldn't leave him alone? She had to work fast as the women were getting more aggressive, but no matter, when they train is when she will bring out the big guns to seduce him away from Ino. Speaking of Ino, she had just finished with her team's mission and training and was currently walking down the street heading for her family's flower shop. As she walked, she could hear 2 of the villagers speaking, then something caught her attention. Did you hear? Naruto-sama snagged 2 of the 3 goddesses. One of the males said as he giggled perversely. No, but I saw them last night at the club. Man, the way they were dancing. It looked like they were having sex right then and there. Man, if he really betted them, that is one lucky son of a bitch. Another said as he sighed. Also, a buddy of mine that lives in the complex said he saw them walking into a room. They didn't leave until just recently, a third member said as he had a little blood dripping down his nose. At this moment Ino couldn't believe what she was hearing. In fact, she refused to believe it. But as fate would have it, Kurenai was walking towards her. Ino's blood was beginning to boil as she saw the shirt Kurenai was wearing. It was one of Naruto's shirts that she had picked out for him while she was shopping with Anko. Naruto Uzumaki, when I find you I am going to kill you. She screamed at her and ran to find the soon-to-be-dead Naruto. When she did that, it got the attention of the red villager. Was that Ino? One asked. I believe it was. If my memory is right, she has a thing for Naruto-sama. She is a cute thing, isn't she, and will grow more beautiful with time. But why did she look like she is going to murder somebody slowly and painfully? Feel sorry for the bastard, the third said as he was elbowed by his friend and pointed towards Kurenai. They all stared at her for a while before they were met with a genjutsu of a yaoi-infested world. Naruto, on the other hand, had a chill down his spine. Man, something tells me I am going to be in a lot of pain. But why shit? All throughout the day Naruto jumped at the slightest noise. His team, even Sasuke, wondered what was wrong with him, even though Kakashi had an idea as to why Naruto was being so paranoid. That reason was a blonde by the name of Ino. Kakashi had heard the rumors that were circulating. Hell, he was one of the people that let the information slip. As Naruto walked towards the tower, he was wondering what he was going to do. Yes, he liked Ino. And yes, he found Anko and Kurenai very attractive and was starting to have feelings for them. And it wasn't the fact that he had slept with both of them, though it did help open his eyes to them. Here he was 16 and had already had sex with 2 of the 3 most sought-out women in the whole village at the same time, and had an unofficial relationship with who could easily be the next goddess of Konoha. Now most people would brag about this fact, but not Naruto. He did not want all of this. Yes, he might be a closet, though he would never admit it, but he was a firm believer of the one-man, one-woman relationship. It was quite funny now thinking about it. Most men would kill to be in Naruto's shoes right now, and here he wanted a normal relationship with only one woman. But alas, it is not to be. As last of his clan, he would be forced to be with at least 4 women. Team 7 had reached the Hokage's office to report the completion of the 2 missions that he had assigned. To Naruto's silent horror, Ino was waiting for him right in the Hokage's lobby with Anko and Kurenai. Kakashi almost busted out laughing but took pity on Naruto's misfortune, for now at least. To Ino's credit, she did not outright kill the now pale blonde, not until he explained himself at least. Naruto tried to ignore the looks that promised pain that Ino was giving him and the looks of worry the other 2 older women had on their faces. Naruto needed to get the hell out of there now, if not, well, he did not know what to think about it. During the report that Kakashi was giving the Hokage, Naruto was thinking of possible ways to escape the inevitable. At one point he even considered asking for help from his fangirls, but quickly dispelled that idea. As he thought of the price he was going to have to pay, he mentally shuddered at that. As Kakashi almost finished his report, the third looked at Naruto as he was looking left and right while drenched in sweat. He was wondering what was wrong with him, that is until he remembered who was in the lobby. He wanted to feel sorry for the blonde, but it was his damn fault, and even though he would not admit it, was jealous of Naruto. Is that all? He asked, and Kakashi said that it was. Well then, dismissed. See you all tomorrow on time. He glared at Naruto when he said it. This was the moment of truth. Time seemed to slow down as Kakashi went to open the door for his team. Naruto was almost in tears at this point. Now, even though Naruto is among one of the most powerful ninja in the village, he had never faced a more powerful enemy as the one he was about to face, a pissed-off and highly trained woman. His life was flashing before his eyes but was brought out of his musing by someone clearing their throat. He turned and saw an ANBU standing by a now open window. That was his escape. He made his move just as Ino appeared by the door and saw Naruto running towards the window. As he was about to jump out of the window, he felt something being placed in his pocket. After a quick glance, he saw that the ANBU was a female one. He silently groaned at that revelation but quickly put it in the back of his mind as he had other things to do, like staying alive. Come back here, Naruto Uzumaki. Ino yelled from the window, but seeing as Naruto was long gone, turned around and bolted from the room while silently muttering things like castrations and fox hunting, among other things that if others actually heard would have nightmares for years to come. Naruto had made it to the other side of town in record time, even if he didn't notice. Now with the danger temporarily averted, he made his way towards his secret hideout from when he was a kid. Deep in the forest of death he found a small hill. On the base of the hill was a bush that he moved aside to find a wooden door. He opened the door and went inside. As soon as he did, light flickered on and water began to pump from the pipes. He had found this cave years ago and was surprised to find that it had electricity and plumbing that would activate when someone tripped the seals. When he first found it was a complete mess, almost as if the previous owner left in a hurry, as papers were all over the floor and the tables. He saved each and every piece of paper because he thought that the owner might come back later, which he never did. He knew that the papers were important because when he tried to read some of them he found some names that he knew well. Names like Yuga, Uchiha, and even his were on them. Now that he thinks about it, something was off about them, so he decided that since he was going to be here a while he might as well look over them. As time went on, Naruto began to get pissed. Someone was experimenting on people from different clans. Whoever he wanted to find the genetic code for certain bloodlines so that he could make a perfect killing machine. It also went into details as to how he took genetic samples from his victims. Naruto almost lost his lunch from reading them. He gave a silent prayer to those unlucky souls. As he finished the report he came across his name. Apparently his blood was the missing glue that would bind the other bloodline traits and not kill the host. But unfortunately once his blood touched the open atmosphere it would be rendered unusable. So in order for the experiment to work, the living host must be injected with the DNA solution. Though the name of the person conducting the research was never mentioned, Naruto promised that he would find out who did those awful things and make him pay. It was about midnight when Naruto had left the hideout and silently traveled through the village trying to stay out of sight. Finally reaching his apartment door, he went to open the door when it opened on its own. Naruto suddenly got suspicious and slowly went inside with his guard up. He went to turn on the light, and when he did his whole world went black. After an hour he came upon someone throwing cold water on him. "Hello Naruto-kun," a female voice said. Naruto paled. "Ino-chan?" Naruto said as he noticed that he was tied to a chair with chakra-draining ropes. "What is going on?" Ino looked directly into Naruto's eyes as if interrogating him. "I heard a very interesting story today. I just want to know if it is true, or just a fiction made up by the villagers." Now Naruto was very nervous as he had an idea of what she was talking about. The only question was how he was going to get out of this with his whole body intact. "A story you say? I haven't heard any stories so I can't really help you with that." "Oh, I think you can help me with it. Now tell me, is it true that you were at a club with Anko last night?" "Yes," was all he could say. He now knew where this was going. "Okay, now while at the club with Anko, did you meet up with Kurenai, sensei of one teammate? And while at said club alcohol were consumed?" "Yes and yes." "Good, now tell me, is it true that while at the club with both women things got a little graphic, and while leaving the club you had your hands occupied while their hands were too?" At this point Ino was leaking a little of her killer intent, and it began to affect Naruto, as he was sweating profusely. "That is correct, but in my defense I was really drunk." Naruto tried to defend himself but to no avail. "I see. Then mind telling me why Kurenai-sensei had one of your shirts, or the fact that you were seen leaving your apartment at such a late hour?" "I am sorry, but that is a personal matter between me and the girls. Please forgive me, but I will not explain what had happened during that time." By this time Ino had tears flowing down her cheek. "This is the last question. Why them?" And there it was, the $1,000,000 question. Naruto knew that the excuse of "I was drunk" wasn't going to fly, so he decided to come clean. "Ino-chan, I know this must hurt, but please believe me, I did not mean for this to happen. Anko has been in my life for many years now. During that time my feelings for her changed from that of a sister to something more. As for Kurenai, I can't really say as I have only met her on a few occasions. But I know that there is something there." Ino looked at him again, her eyes red from crying. "And what about me? I thought you liked me." "Inoheim, of course I like you, and not just as a friend but as something more. I was afraid that you did not like me the same way, and that is why I never told you. I did not want our friendship to fall apart. I couldn't stand not being your boyfriend, but I couldn't live if you were not in my life. I guess I can say without a doubt that I love you, but I also love Anko and Kurenai as well." Ino was shocked by the confession. She had long known that she had fallen in love with Naruto, but for him to confess that he loved her was shocking. She was also saddened by the fact that he loved 2 other women, and from the look in his eyes she could tell that there were others that he was not telling her. She had to think long and hard of what she was going to do. The thought of sharing the blonde with other women did not sit well with her, but she did love him very much, and was sure that compromise could be made. She let the blonde go and left the apartment, not before telling him that she had a lot to think about and that she would talk to him later. After Ino had left the apartment, Naruto got up from his chair a little depressed because he had made Ino sad. As he was about to lay down for the night, he heard a knock on his door. He quickly got out of bed and made his way to the door. He asked who was there but received no answer. He opened the door and found that no one was there. Shrugging his shoulders, he closed his door and turned around only to be met with an ANBU ninja looking directly at him. He studied the ANBU and found out they were females slightly taller than him, had purple hair similar to that of Anko, and was wearing the standard ANBU uniform. As he looked at her armored covered body, he noticed that she was well gifted, curves in the right, wide hips, slender waist, and a considerable busty cup maybe. Her face was covered by her white mask that had the markings and the design of a cat. He knew who this woman was, Yuga Yuzuki, his formal training partner in the ANBU. She was one of his most fiercest admirers. Though she did try to see other people, she would always compare them to Naruto, and they always fall short. The man that came to the closest was a man simply known as Hate. They went out for about 6 months, but in the end she broke it off. "Hello Naruto-kun," she said in a seductive tone that sent chills down Naruto's spine. "But in a good way. It's been a while. You haven't come and see me in a while. I was beginning to think you did not like me anymore." "Now Nikoheim, you know that will never happen. It's just I have really busy with this mission. I am sorry that I haven't been around for our training sessions," Naruto responded. "Yeah, bet you're busy, but you found enough time to go out with Anko and Kurenai, and from what I hear you had a lot of time when you brought them home too," she retorts with a hint of anger and jealousy. "I thought we had something special, Yugao-chan. What we had was special. You were my first kiss, and that is something I will never forget. It's just that when I saw you going out with other men, I thought that what we had was over," Naruto sadly explained. Yugao sadly sighed because she knew that it was her fault for what had happened in their relationship. It all started when Naruto first came to the ANBU HQ. He was only 12 at the time. At first she didn't think anything of him, as she was 16 at the time and had her career to focus on. But as time went on and she began to socialize with him, a friendship was forged. They began to work and train together and at times go eat dinner together. Many of the ANBU began to think that they were a couple. After 2 years of this, Yugao finally told Naruto that she liked him more than a friend and gave him his first kiss. But soon became frightened because of the age gap. She began to date other people her age but still kept her friendship, never knowing how much it hurt Naruto to see her with other guys. "Look Naruto, I know that I messed up our relationship because I was scared, and I am sorry," Yugao cried as she removed her mask, showing her lovely face. Her pale skin seemed to glow under the moonlight that was shining through the window. Naruto looked at her tear-filled eyes and saw regret and longing in them. He walked up to her and wiped a tear from her face before he cupped her face. Feeling the warmth of his hand, she began to lean into his hand, trying to get more warmth. She had noticed Naruto had grown taller than her by at least 3 inches. "Yugaheim, you know that I could never be mad at you. All I ever wanted was to be happy. If being with someone else made you happy, then who am I to interfere?" Naruto said as he brought the now crying woman into his arms. Yugao snuggled deeper into Naruto's embrace and kept saying she was sorry. After holding each other for what seemed like hours, Yugao finally had the strength to confess to Naruto. "Naruto-kun, these last couple of months have been the hardest on me. At first I thought it was because you weren't coming to see me anymore, but soon I found that I could not stop thinking about it. Your face was constantly running through my mind. I finally realized that my fear was not because of our age difference, but my dear, that you did not want me the way I wanted you. So before I could feel the sting of rejection, I went and tried to find someone else, but I never did." Yugao looked directly into Naruto's deep blue eyes and with tears in her eyes finally confessed, "What I am trying to say is that I love you, Naruto, but I know that it is too late, and I am happy that you found someone to love even though it is not me." With that she turned around ready to leave, and also not bearing to look at her love's face anymore. She had made up her mind and she was going to be happy for Naruto and love him from afar. As she was about to leave, she felt the warmth of Naruto's body engulf her once more as he wrapped his arms around her once more. She loved the feeling that Naruto always gave her. In his arms she always felt safe and wanted, not for her body but for her. "You don't know how long I waited for you to say that, Yu-chan. I have loved you since the first time I saw you. I was overjoyed when we became training partners and later friends. When you said that you liked me more than a friend, I could have died a happy man at that point because I thought that I had a chance. And when we kissed for the first time, I was in heaven," Naruto said as he spun her around and placed his hand on her face. They stared at each other with adoration. Slowly their faces came closer to each other until finally meeting, sharing the long-awaited kiss that they both desperately needed. Soon their kiss started to get heated as Naruto's hands started to roam Yugao's waiting body. She loved the sensation of Naruto's hands. She ended as they finally stopped on her firm ass. Never breaking the kiss, Naruto lifted her as she wrapped her legs around his waist. Naruto then carried her to his bedroom and threw her onto his bed. Yuga was a little disappointed that Naruto had broken the kiss, but that soon went away when she felt his lips assault hers once again. Naruto's wandering hands were now rubbing her thighs and were making their way north. After many minutes of this treatment, Yuga could not take it anymore, as the building heat began to build in the pit of her stomach, and was reaching her limit. She was in desperate need of release. "Naruto, please." He looked up at her when he reached the hem of her now soaked pants, and waited for her approval for him to continue. She looked at him and wondered why he stopped until she realized why. She gently raised her hips, giving Naruto to go ahead to remove the offending clothes. Naruto slowly began to remove her pants, leaving her in nothing but her panties. When he finally removed the pants, he started to kiss her down her right legs, heading towards her inner thigh. Once he was about to reach her center, he pulled back and started her left, making her growl. Naruto chuckled at her reaction but continued to torture her. The two lovers continued to explore each other's bodies, never noticing that they had an audience watching the two lovers become one. "It's about time," she confessed and ended her torture. One of the figures said as they watched from the roof of the next building. "Kurenai, of course I knew of this. I knew for years, even before my love for him changed from an adopted brother to the man I love with all my being," Anko said, blushing when the noise of Yuga's screams of pleasure hit their ears. Naruto was very skilled with his tongue, and both women knew this very well. "Then why aren't we stopping this? I mean, I know that we had an agreement when we decided to share him, but do we really want another woman trying to get his affection?" Kurenai replied as she saw Yuga climax, and Naruto lapping up her juices as if it was the nectar of the gods. She then watched as Yuga flipped Naruto on his back and ripped off his shirt. "Kurenai-chan, you must understand that these two have a lot of history together. Did you know that she was his first kiss and love? At the time I was happy for them, but something happened that changed that." Yuga got scared and went to find happiness in the arms of another man. She never did, and I could see the regret in her eyes every time she saw him. It was during this time when my love for him changed. He was broken and defenseless. At first I was angry at her for hurting him, that I wanted to kill her, and it took all my self-control not to do so. Over the next year I watched as he put all his energy and time in training. I knew how did this because he did not want to dwell in the past, Anko said with a sad look on her face as she remembered that dark chapter in Naruto's life. Just recently, when I could see something change in Yugao's eyes, she was at the breaking point, and I needed to know why. I asked her what it was, and do you know what it was that she said? Kurenai shook her head no as tears fell from her eyes, thinking how sad the relationship between the two was. She said that she loved him more than anything, and was truly sorry for hurting Naruto the way she did. She was scared, but not for the reason she let others believe. No, she was scared that Naruto would not accept her love and leave her. I looked straight at her when I told her that she was an idiot to believe that Naruto would not accept her. I told about the many times I saw Naruto's beautiful eyes die a little every time he saw her with another man. She was shocked to hear that Naruto was hurting because of her fear. She sadly said as she looked at the loving couple finally becoming one, she saw that Yuga was still pure. She smiled when she saw Naruto kiss her tears away and whisper sweet nothings in her ear, all the while not moving until she was ready. "Naruto sure knows how to make a woman feel special," Kurenai said as she began to walk away to scratch the itch she was feeling from watching the couple make love for the first time. She knew she was wrong for watching something so special, but she could not help herself. At first she was going back to Naruto's apartment for another round, but was stopped by Anko saying that it was not a good time. "Yeah, but you know after this she will be in for a wild ride. Damn lucky woman, I wish I was in her shoes, but no matter what I still got tomorrow." Anko chuckled perversely, breaking the sadness they were feeling earlier. Kurenai just chuckled as they both vanished, but inside was agreeing with Anko. Yuga was in for the night of her life. Just under the two women was another who looked with utter hate and jealousy. She was so enthralled by the scene before her she did not hear the sad story about Naruto and this woman. Sakura could not believe what she was seeing. First she saw Ino go into Naruto's apartment. She was relieved to know that the two did not do anything, only talked. She was about to go home and dream about her new love interest, but stopped when she saw another person in the room. At first she thought it was a regular ANBU there to give Naruto a message, but soon that theory went out the window as the ANBU removed their mask only to reveal they were female. He watches in horror when Naruto embraces the woman and kisses her. She watched every second of the two first encounters and was angry and aroused when she saw Naruto's form. They knew the next time she saw him she would probably pass out from a massive nosebleed. 6 hours later Yuga was comfortably sleeping on Naruto's shoulder. Naruto watched as she slept and could help but smile lovingly at her tired yet peaceful face. He knew that he was addicted to her, and he would ravage her many more times, and he could not wait for the next time. As he finally succumbed to sleep, he whispered, "I love you, Yuheim." Only Yuga, still sleeping, replied, "And I love you, my love."